Hello there. I hope you guys are doing good. This is just a little stream to tell you hello and that we're still alive here. Though we have gone through quite a bit and I'm still not fully recovered from my COVID yet, but I'm still very happy to be here. Yeah, it's been a rough winter, but also a lot of cool stuff happening. So I thought this was a good opportunity to connect again and speak a little bit about that and check how you guys been doing. I hope you guys have been able to, with your sanity still there, go through this winter. It's been a rough ride. So in case you guys are wondering, I'm just jamming around a little bit here in the key of A minor, in the A minor pentatonic scale. I don't know, maybe it sounds a little bit fancy, but it's just trying to keep a steady pulse going, like that, and then throw in a bass note here and there, and that can get you a long way. So especially if you know the A minor pentatonic scale, then you can maybe grab the root note there on the 5th fret. Right, there you have like a basic beat. And it's a good foundation if you can sort of work on just keeping that flow a little bit. And then maybe you're going to be able to throw in a higher note here and there. And that's going to be enough to sort of convey the impression of, like a full arrangement, or at least as full as it can get with just one guitar. So. And that's the basics. I can't claim that I'm a master on this. If you follow my stuff before, you know that I'm more into, shredding and soloing and improvising and all that. But I really found that this is the new direction that my playing needs to take to sort of get more rhythmic. And it's a lot of fun because, especially in these crazy COVID times, it gives you like a substitute for playing with a band and other people. If you can still get the pulse going and you can create that groove by yourself, I find that kind of interesting. So. So I'm adding also notes from the A minor scale. So if you know the A minor pentatonic scale, you just need to add another 2 notes to those 5 notes, and you're going to get a 7-note scale, which is the A minor scale. And that is also a useful scale for, just walking around doing this kind of thing. Cool, we got Indra there. This is Blues. Yeah, Indra, what's up, my man? So I hope you've been surviving these crazy times. Where are you located? Yeah. It's always interesting to know. Here, Stockholm, Sweden here, by the way. That's for you, Indra, some bluesy stuff. Jeremy, what's up? I literally forgot about this channel. I watched the 40 techniques in one solo video, and it was pretty cool seeing the video again for the first time. Yes, awesome, man. Awesome to see you here again. Jeremy, where are you located? Yeah, that's a classic lesson there by Sinisa. And it's funny because I can still remember when I got the idea for that lesson. We've just, I had been doing my YouTube stuff on my personal channel for a while, but not for the GMC content. We just started with that. And we got some good response from just uploading like a few of our, usual lessons. We'd upload them and it's like, wow, 40,000 views. This is just like a normal lessons. So I told myself, what if we just make this super big lesson, just gather everything of one, let's dive into a specific topic and cover it all. So all the techniques we could think about. And it really worked out. And I think that, that kind of thing at the time was pretty new. Now, YouTube is flooded with all these cool ideas. But back in the days, there wasn't that as much. So that was a lot of fun. And I'm glad you're still listening and enjoying that video. Oh, so it's the same for you, Indra? You also just came back to the channel after a long time? And you also started with the 40 techniques video? So are you guys sitting with your guitars now, or do you have the? Are you able to play, or do you have to keep quiet? Okay, Indra, so you're more into blues than jazz. That would be the same for me, definitely. I love listening to jazz, but I can't really play jazz. I am definitely inspired by some jazz principles, working with, tension and release and that kind of stuff, but not over like jazz standards and stuff like that. For one, I'm pretty bad at following quick chord changes. And also, I like to have it a bit, I like to have changes here and there, but not as many. So I guess I'd be more of a fusion guy or something. So do you guys have anything specific you're working on? I'm currently in the phase of kind of cleaning up the rhythmic aspects of my playing. because I've realized that I'm not nearly as good at rhythmical stuff as I've previously thought. So I kind of suck at it. So I need to kind of focus on just the rhythm of things. So instead of sitting around just noodling whatever, doing that, I always start nowadays with the rhythm. So I need something going, and then if I can squeeze in some noodling on top of that, that's totally fine. But the problem is I usually can't. So that is a problem in itself. So I try to so that's okay, but I still need like a framework where there's tight rhythm, because that's something I really totally need to focus on. And I know that if I can stick with that for a while, it's gonna, through the power of osmosis, it's gonna sort of get into my usual stuff, and I'm just gonna get much tighter and more rhythmical, and have like not sight reading, but sight seeing my lines in terms of rhythmical content. Because I think I have some skills, in trying to come up with melodic stuff, but none as far as rhythmic stuff goes. So it's really something I'm working on. I guess you could say it's my New Year's promise or something. Oh, and I'm improved blues in a slow rock after 2011. Okay, so you've been progressing since 2011. That's cool, mate. Postnut, I just realized you and Kris are the same person. we are. That's true. So have you been around since like the super early days, or you and Christopher Dahl? It's a funny thing, but you're right. Me and Christopher Dahl is exactly the same guy. I think it's because I changed my cap. I used to have a Batman cap. Maybe that makes me harder to recognize. That's also something I should work more on. I really need to work that. Yeah, I remember watching that chicken thing. Ooh, back in the day. So you followed my personal channel as well. That's awesome, mate. So did you watch any of my stuff at, the Ultimate Guitar website, or at freelix.net was my kind of very first project years ago. That's true. So have you guys been able to kind of make use of this crazy pandemic and get better at the guitar, or just get more practicing time, and maybe you've been able to work towards some kind of goal of yours to improve your whatever? I guess I somewhat have, but I could have been even better at it, I think. Just because you have more time with the guitar doesn't necessarily mean you use it, I guess. You're one of the OGs of YouTube guitars. Thanks, man. That's awesome to hear. Cool, 2009. Yeah, that's pretty possible. Yeah, for sure. We were up in 2009. Yeah, definitely. And I guess my personal channel is even before that. It's like 2006 or something. But yeah, I would say this channel maybe 2008 or something, I'm not sure, but around then for sure. Safolgi, what's up, my man? Yes, this is a vintage Strat. It's a vintage Icon V6. There we go. I made some changes to it. Although the hardware, you know, it's pretty good. It's known for that. Even though it's a cheap guitar, it has those Wilkinson tuners and all that. So it's pretty good stuff. I kept all of that. I just changed the pickups for bare knuckle. Pashi, I really like them a lot, and then I did some fret work on it as well. So I think, yeah, it's a very good value for money. And for me, it was a bit of a project for me to get a bit more handy with you know, luthering or whatever you want to call it. I wanted to be able to do more stuff on my own. Part of the reason was because I started getting a lot of guitars, so it wasn't really handy to. And it was expensive to, you know, go to luthier all the time as soon as something needed fixing. So I sort of got this guitar and I told myself, well, if I get a cheap guitar and I'll try to improve it. And if I can improve it, you know, it won't be a big loss economically. But I was fortunate to not mess the guitar up. I actually ended up using it quite a bit, so I'm happy with it. And, you know, in a worst case scenario, I guess the most expensive piece of equipment on the guitar are the pickups anyway. So as long as I don't damage those, I could pretty much do anything with this. Then it would be like a few $100 learning project, but you know, you have to compare that with some expensive luthering course. So I'm still pretty happy with that. So yeah, I can recommend them. Vintage Icon, really cool. I've been close to getting their Les Paul version as well, but you know, that didn't happen. But yeah, it's nice. I mean, the relicing job, I mean, if you look at it, it's a little bit cheap maybe, and it probably looks the same on all their guitars. And it's on occasionally like maybe on a weird places, but yeah, like here, I don't know why there would be here, but maybe. But you know, it's the neck is really nice, and I guess that's what counts. And you know, it's a standard shaped Strat, nothing wrong with it. The wood is good, not heavy. I mean, yeah, this is actually way above expectations for a cheap instrument, so I can recommend it. Do you have like a vintage Icon instrument as well? Or maybe we're asking if it's a true vintage. It certainly isn't. I don't have any vintage instruments, but it's the brand is Vintage Icon, obviously. But yeah, definitely recommend them. Yeah, sure. I actually have two Ibanez guitars. I love them. I have like an RG652 AHM. It's like a, you know, the RG guitar, basically a bit more modern. And I also have like the FRM 100, which is a Paul Gilbert. They were available for really cheap here in Stockholm for a while. I guess they didn't really sell that well, so I couldn't resist but buy a new one. It's a really nice guitar. Gibson, yeah, I do use, I have one Gibson Les Paul Jr. It's a really good guitar as well. Sorry. but unfortunately you can't buy them anymore. They were like really cheap, bottom of the line Gibson guitars. I don't think there was a lot of profit because they were really good guitars, and you could buy them at Thomann for like 500 euros. So it's crazy price, with Gibson standards. Lovely. Relic is not great. Vintage V6 Icon is on my list now. Yeah, I mean, it's really cool. Especially, I don't know if you got some spare pickups laying around somewhere, then, I mean, it's a no-brainer. And again, if you're like me and you want to be able to, do a bit of luthering, it's a great idea, I think. I've also been really close to buying one of those kits, you can buy them here in Europe and in the Thomann store. You can buy a guitar kit for almost nothing. I think it's like 50 euros or something, and you get a whole guitar, put it together. I'm sure, the pickups are crap and that, but it's still just going through that process. I think if only I could find the time, I would do it for sure. And then, and probably the next thing I do would be to order parts from, what's it called, the store in the UK, the web store in the UK, where you can buy really good parts for like piece of wood and stuff like that. That would be my next step, and put together like a real guitar made by me. So that would be awesome, but I'm not quite there yet. If one wants to mod a guitar, it should be from a great value guitar. Yeah, definitely. I mean, as a start, and then as when you're good at it, obviously, then the sky is the limit. But it's probably a good idea not to mess up a fine instrument the first time. Oh, set infinite. So I gave up on keeping it pristine, just let it naturally relic. Yeah. That's the best thing, If you play an instrument to the point that it relics by itself, not only does it, that's cooler, obviously, because it's truly relic, but it's also, I think, in terms of value, for like if you ever were to sell the instrument, which I don't really recommend, but then if it's been like truly relict, that's a very good sign. It's a good instrument, it's been played a lot. So yeah, that's definitely the best thing. I can actually show you the two. Oh, we got beer hounds and beer reviews from California. You gotta give us a beer. Can you please hand out digital beers to the participants here? So here's actually what I use for leveling the frets, and it's a really cool tune. I had to order it from Japan. It's called the company is called Rectify Master. Let's see if I in this one is called Katana. Yeah. So what it does is it just well, if I can remember. It basically lets you level the frets all at once. And what you can do with this is you can adjust to the relief of the guitar, which is super handy. Yeah, this has really been my go-to tool for avoiding taking it to a luthier. But of course, if you go heavy with this, what's going to happen is the frets are going to get really sharp edges. So you're going to have to also, once you're done with this one, you know, you go it like this is how you use it. Then you're going to have to use another tool to get the frets round, and that takes a lot of time. But if it's just a light fret job, then this is actually super quick. You can do this in like 30 minutes, and it's already a really good improvement. Or you know about guitar player from Indonesia? I don't know him by name, but I'm sure I've encountered it because there's so many new guys from, you know, from Asia and Southeast Asia that are so, you know, they just kick ass. That finger picking is very cool. I have plenty. Come get some. Well, I have finger picking. Come get that. Is this kind of thing what you're thinking about, Mr. or Mrs. Beerhounds? That kind of thing? Oh, maybe with some tone. Maybe leave the pick there. Cool. So for a blues in A, can I only play minor pentatonic and licks over major chords in A major and A minor for the one chord? Aha. That's a cool question. For a blues in A, can I only play minor pentatonic and licks over major chords? I'm not really sure I get the question, but we can definitely speak. If you're speaking about the first chord in a blues in A, if we're speaking like not a typical minor blues progression, but like that typical 7 where you have, you know, that kind of, you have that feel for every chord, so it's like all 7 chords, and that's a very special tonality because it's totally free. You can do whatever you want on it. So that's the cool thing. It doesn't really have a defined tonal center. And if the question is about that, you know, the most common blues chord progression, then the answer is you can get away with almost anything on the first chord and on most of the chords, to be honest with you. But it's a matter of how you do it, right? So if you're new to it, then it's a good idea to stick to those standards. So typically you'd want to play like, you know, in a, like in, you're asking about A, so if that's the one chord, then the A minor pentatonic works, but the A major pentatonic should also work. And there I switched between the major and minor. But I'm not 100% sure I got your question there. I think if your question was about what I showed there, like a standard A blues with a 7 kind of feel, you know. If it's that kind of thing, then I would, my recommendation would be start with the A minor pentatonic, the standard, and then try adding extra notes. And it's a very good idea to mix in with a major scale or the major pentatonic. That's how I would go about it. Actually, that's one of the best ways to sound really cool, I think, because if you just play the A minor pentatonic, it's gonna sound good, but you're not really using the tonal palette that is at your disposal, thanks to the openness of, you know, the nature of that chord progression, which is, as I said, you could throw on anything. So definitely try that, which is minor pentatonic, and then mix with because it adds so much flavor. Alex Skolnick, cool, from Testament. I love the Gathering, that album. Though I don't think he's on that album. He was on the older Testaments, and I also like the, what's that called? Yeah, I can't remember what it's called, but I used to listen to one of those albums that had a lot of good songs on it, and I remember Alex was playing on that one. Well, Bill the Beer Hound. Yes, finger hybrid picking. I think it's some of the hardest things to get well on. Cool. So, yeah, for it can be really hard with hybrid picking. I agree with that. If I were to give you some advice there. I would say that the challenge lies in finding a natural way to practice it. Because I think a lot of people who encounter sort of brick wall with hybrid picking and finger picking, they've already come quite a way along their progress path. So they're able to do maybe more advanced stuff, and then all of a sudden they try to throw in some fingers in there, and it's just everything stops, right? It's just hard, right? So it's a matter of bridging the gap between your current level and your level of finger picking. Now, what I did to start using my fingers was not really conscious. What I did was I played the licks I already knew how to play with my pick, like a standard bluesy kind of thing. I would do and I would, instead of doing this, I would do, and I realized that because at the time I didn't know a lot of licks. Maybe I only knew 5 blues licks. So I was like, okay, I only know 5 licks. What am I going to do? It's going to take me another 2 years to learn 5 more. So what can I do with the licks I already know how to play? And I told myself, well, maybe try playing with the fingers. And I discovered you could pop them and snap them in a totally different way. So I didn't play with my fingers because I thought that it would result in some cool hybrid picking. And in fact, I had no idea about what that was. Instead, I did it because I needed to come up with more variations. So the lesson you could sort of draw from this is maybe try to find a practical way you can make use of your fingers, and don't try to just play something fancy. Try to, whenever you're doing some slow phrasing, maybe, instead of doing, try doing it with your fingers. And maybe you can already, if it's a slow passage, benefit from the difference in dynamics you get. So that it's actually, instead of being something that you invest a lot of time in so that maybe you're going to master it in 2 years, it can be something you can use today, and it gives you an advantage already. So try playing something really slow and snap the strings and see if that works for you. And I know that Alex, for example, Alex Skolnick, he is really versatile in terms of, he can play jazz as well. So I think doing a bit of this in any of, is a good idea. You can use it just wherever you want. But I think that's a good way to get started with your fingers. So if this becomes natural, you're going to find yourself using it more and more. And eventually, you're going to be to the point where you can really make use of all your fingers. I always, whenever I improvise, I find myself doing a lot of hybrid picking. I just don't... And that happens after a while. It becomes like an integral part, but that doesn't come naturally. You first have to force yourself to find some usages so that it becomes something you gravitate towards, not to practice, but when you actually play. I think that's key. Cool, that's cool. Did you learn theory first or later after teaching yourself? That's a good one. I was actually fortunate enough to when I wanted to get serious about playing the guitar. I've been going to some like guitar instructor once per week with my nylon string, and we did these like if you have any Russian people here, you're gonna recognize that. But anyway, and as much as I like that tune, it wasn't that inspirational. But then later on, I decided, I had heard of these like Slash and Yngwie Malmsteen, and I wanted to really get better. And then I was fortunate enough to find a teacher whose name is Christian Niemann, and he's a really good guitarist. You should check him out. He's played with Therion for a lot of years and recorded albums and stuff like that. But and he's actually the one who gave me an introduction to the modes and stuff like that. So I had a real teacher for those things. So I got to learn that, but I learned it, but I didn't use it that much. But I still had the foundation. I guess like 10 or 15 years later is when I actually started making practical use of them. I just practiced all the modes because I thought I had to. But like 10 years later, I realized that the most useful thing I got from the modes is probably, when you're playing like a blues or whatever in E. And you do your standard pentatonics. And you add this note. The Dorian note, right? And I can show you that. It's going to take you 1 minute, and you don't have to go through all the theory. So it's this on the 14th fret, right? The B string. So if you play the E minor pentatonic scale, and then you add that note, that's really useful. But in terms of playing the Locrian all over the fretboard, I don't know how useful that is. That's really cool, if you ask me. That single note, awesome. But you have it there. If you can do that, then you can play the Dorian sound. That's what matters. And, again, it takes you a few minutes of practicing as opposed to months and months. Please play all arpeggio blues. What is that? Arpeggio blues? You mean like... I don't think that's what you're referring to. Let's do. Or you mean like finger picking blues? The chords in A major are A, D, E, B minor, C sharp minor. Okay, so you're speaking about not really a blues there. You're speaking about like a standard or A, D, yeah, D major, E, yes, B minor, yes, C sharp minor, yes, F sharp minor, yes, yes. Would A minor pentatonic scale work over all chords? No, the answer is no to that. That's the wrong scale, I would say. That's probably going to sound really bad. You could make it work, but no, that's not your typical choice. That would be the wrong key, actually, because you're playing all the chords are in A major, and you're throwing in like the minor third. The reason the opposite works in the blues is because you have a very loosely defined harmony, whereas what you describe here are all the diatonic chords. So that's basically the most defined harmony you can get. So you're going to get some clashes. You can probably make it work, but it's not going to be an easy task. So the answer is no for that. Brick wall, okay. I will try those. Thanks for the tip. Much appreciated. I felt the same way about sweeps and 8-finger tapping. Cool. So, beer hounds, are you able to play sweeps and 8-finger tapping now? That vintage V6 looks and sounds killer. Oh, Charlie Music. We have from Australia. Awesome, man. Yes, it is awesome. I don't know if you missed the details there, but I've done some modification on it myself. But I really, really enjoy the guitar. I can recommend it. How is Australia doing now with lifting restrictions and all that? Vintage V6. Was there a aha moment for you, like a light bulb when on and you finally got it? So I think you're referring to hybrid picking there. No, there wasn't for hybrid picking. No, there was never such moment. I probably had them for other techniques, but for hybrid picking, no, because as I said, I practiced it much earlier than I realized that it was a desirable thing to play. So I think a lot of people, you maybe see me as someone who, I don't know, was very early with that technique, but I didn't see it as something that needed to be practiced. And in fact, I wouldn't say I'm extremely good at it, because I think people might confuse when they see some kind of that kind of thing. And it sounds really fast and flashy, whatever. But the hybrid picking part is not that fast. I pick, and then comes hybrid picking. So it's once every 6 notes I add that finger. That's not that hard, But the reason it sounds complicated, obviously, is because it's the fast legato going. So that would be the tricky part of this specific lick, right? The tricky part is not the hybrid picking here. It's what the left hand is doing. So no, I didn't have an aha moment there because of the nature. When I practiced this, I didn't think of it as practicing, and I'm not really fast at it. It's just something that became a natural thing to do because, as I described, I tried it with my blues licks there. I think I had more aha moments, sorry for pronunciation there, maybe with picking, the thing that's been a lot of talk about, downward and upward pick slanting and all that. But that, I sort of discovered that myself without having the great analysis that Troy uses and all these terms for it. But I definitely realized that it made a big difference how I position my right hand, right? So for some, I don't have that kind of tone now, but for some, like Yngwie style, I would, maybe do... I would have like a very different approach with my right hand as opposed to if I were to do something more aggressive, maybe like Paul Gilbert's type pattern, which is more strict alternate picking. Wow, you play very clean. Holy crap, those arpeggios were nice. Thanks, man. I can do sweep, but 8-finger tapping is crazy. Yeah, I don't do that either. I do some tapping, but that's only with one. Sometimes 2 fingers, but mostly not. Johnny Highland, he's awesome. What can I say? But his style is very, very different from anything I do. Obviously, he comes from like a chicken picking and a country background. I certainly don't. Though I tried to play it once. It's well documented on the GMC website, but I don't do a lot of that, no. But he's awesome, yeah. Yeah, Yngwie has a really nice picking technique. And the conclusion I've come to after thinking quite a bit of that about that, you know, he's always, his technique is always a hot topic, you know, among guitarists. But it's that maybe he doesn't have like the absolute most advanced picking hand in history, but his technique works so well with his left hand technique. He's a great legato player. And also the licks he chooses to play, so that you know, it looks effortless because it is effortless, and it sounds super smooth and precise. Though obviously there are quite a bit of patterns that he would not be able to play with strict alternate picking, but who cares? It sounds awesome. Yeah, I mean, just the way he relies on downward pick slanting all the time, and when he can't do that, he does economy picking instead, or even mixes with legato, which is my favorite approach of doing it, right? That kind of thing might look like you're doing a lot of picking, I don't know. You know. But, you know, I just pick like 2 out of 3 notes, so I do, and then I hammer on the third one, so that allows me to keep this very nice downward pick slant. I don't have to go like that and do. That wouldn't allow the same kind of smoothness and speed as this does. So since I'm only doing pick, pick, hammer on, pick, pick, hammer on, pick, pick, hammer on, pick, pick, hammer on, then it makes it easy to have like a relaxed posture, and that's, you know, that's the Yngwie approach, although obviously he does it in a very different way, but you know, the picking principle is the same. Johnny Skinny, maybe not so much. Johnny Highland Jr. in the house. Oh, so I'm the Johnny Skinny. I don't know. Yeah, I suck at this too. I don't know. Maybe not quite my bag, but I like it a lot. You know, we have this instructor, Kris, so it's a little plug for the GMC website. But he is a country master, and I took it as a challenge once to try to play his most difficult solo. You know, I should probably post it to you guys since we're speaking about it here. This is gonna be fun. So what did I call it? Me learning country. I don't know, if you haven't seen this, you might want to check it out at some point. This is me trying my best to do country, but can I bring it in here? I don't know. Display capture, maybe I can. No, I couldn't. Let's see if I can change the order without crashing everything here. This is gonna crash everything, I'm sure. No, there we go. I did it. So, here it is. Let's see if this... That's me playing. Couldn't do it now though. This was the most difficult part to learn for me. That's as close to Johnny Highland as I'll ever come. So here you can see the original lesson, the one I learned from. This is Kris. You can compare the difference. he does this section much better, or there I should say. Yeah, so you can tell there's a bit of a difference there, but it was a really fun challenge. There we go. Better, no, not a day or two. I practiced, that thing I showed you here, I practiced for like 3 months, and I'm still not really happy with the result, but I had to post it because I told everybody I was going to do it. It was kind of embarrassing, or not embarrassing, but I really put myself in a stressful situation there. I told everybody I need a challenge now, so what do you think I should learn? And I got a lot of suggestions, and I just gathered the 3 top suggestions that were as different as possible from the stuff I usually do, just to get the maximum challenge. I could probably find the thread for you somewhere on the GNC forum. And I asked people to vote, right? And everybody voted for that lesson, because, that's the one that would be the most difficult for me. But of course, I was fortunate enough to still have the hybrid picking stuff. That wasn't new to me. I think without that, it would have taken me much, much longer. But I accepted the challenge and I started practicing, and actually the link I gave you contains like a video log. So for every video part there above the video, like a week has passed, so you can tell how I'm doing there. And I with every week I try to get better, obviously. But then after like 3 months, I was exhausted of it. It wasn't inspiring anymore. And 3 months for me is like a record. I usually can't practice like a specific solo or song for that long, but I had to this time because eyes were on me, right? But yeah, so 3 months, not a few days. Oh, it's not getting better. If only there was more common sense, yeah. You know what's happening here in Europe with the COVID situation is because the Omicron variant is actually okay for people who are vaccinated. So we're lifting restrictions now. I guess if a new version of the virus comes, then we'd have to rethink that. But with Omicron, that's currently happening. And, I'm sitting right here with Omicron. I got sick Sunday, and I had a really bad fever for 24 hours, and then it got better. Now it's like a really annoying cold. Yeah, but fingers crossed, guys can get it better in Australia as well. Chet Atkins, you were as good as him. Not quite, but thank you so much. Economy picking, like Alan Hines. Cool, yeah, I haven't listened that much to him. You would be great in a trash band. I actually have played in a death metal band, and I have a whole bunch of trash. I have recorded that stuff as well. Let's see if I can find that. Maybe let's see if I can. Kris, here you're gonna. See if I can find that one. Well, that was hard finding my own stuff. DS. I probably have some SEO work to do there. Here you can see. So this is, since you asked about trash, here we go. I'm gonna share my screen again there. So here's me recording trash tune and singing it as well. There's the Ibanez I spoke about, the FRM 100, the Paul Gilbert model. So I sing in Latin just for the fun of it. I like the church thing. Here come poor chickens. Along with and here comes the solo. Trying to do that rock and roll pose. And here comes the part where the world just explodes. I should have done a key change here at the end, I think. Would have been cool. I didn't. But just up a whole step would have been cool. There you go. I don't know if that was cool, but you asked for it, so you got it. Yeah. I in that video I might have actually used a metal pick because I often use these. Whoops! Come on. I often use these aluminium picks made by Von Hodge. But now last couple of months I've been using these. I think they're called Turtix. These jazz trees. Let's see if I can find. Jim Dunlop like jazz trees, but they're a bit less slippier material. What are they called? I think it's Tortex or something like that. Yeah, with metal strings, metal picks, yeah. Actually, I also found it a little bit annoying that the aluminium picks, they did get worn out decently fast, and they're much more expensive. And also, you get like a black powder. That's apparently that's what happens when aluminium breaks down. Yeah, black powder there. But yeah, these are fine. I think they're much cheaper. And the thing is, with aluminium picks, you get a really bright tone, and sometimes I guess you have to if you want that, you have to compensate for it on the amp. So you get that bright attack, which is nice. Oh, you liked it, Beer Hans. Awesome, man. I'm not sure it's Testament level. As I said, I really like... actually, their later albums from The Gathering and like the one afterwards, really, really cool albums. To me, that's... If it's going to be death metal, it's like Testament, for sure. Because there's still melody in the growling. You know, I love the sound of growling, but I can't listen to it for a whole album. It's just... I need the melody. So, in my opinion, that album is like the perfect mix between really cool growling styles, but still melodic. Tortex, yeah, that's probably the word I was looking for. I showed him I'm chicken picking. Well, you can do it, man. I don't know if you were here in the beginning of the session, but I explained, you can always rewind, but I explained that I've never practiced it, to be able to do it fast. I just try to play my normal blues licks with my finger instead. That's how I learned it. And it was fun, it still is, because if you use your pick or your finger instead of your pick, you're going to notice you get a totally different tone, and you can snap the string. So all of a sudden, the licks you've already learned, they come to new life, and you can breathe new life into them, and you can make them sound totally different. Can I use the extra natural minor scale notes with the minor pentatonic scale? The extra natural minor scale notes. Yeah, so Mr. Safology, a lot of times it's going to work really well to add those extra 2 notes from the minor scale to the pentatonic scale. So basically you're not playing the pentatonic scale anymore, you're playing the minor scale. But it's not guaranteed to work in a blues setting. In a minor blues, yes, but in a standard 7th kind of blues, no. That's probably not going to work that well. At least not out of the box, but you can squeeze them in, and once you sort of understand how dangerous it is, then you can play with fire. But as a general rule, that might sound bad. But most of the time, when we're not speaking about blues, then adding those extra notes is a really good idea. I do that all the time. So I start with maybe just, hit the low E string and play some... and then, after a while, I get bored using just the pentatonic scale. And it works really well. And in most kind of pop and rock backings, it works because they're all in like a minor or major key. But again, the blues is different. It's not in minor nor major, so it follows different rules and it's kind of loose harmony-wise. Can you make a song in Locrian? I don't know if I'd bother, to be honest with you, because whenever I have the inspiration to create a song, I wouldn't do it in Locrian. I would try to get it out some other way, which is maybe a bit quicker. But Locrian is a tricky mode, Why not do like Phrygian dominant or something, which has similar dissonances, but is actually super useful. The Locrian has the minor second, which is the Phrygian or even the Phrygian dominant note. It's awesome. But then on top of that, it adds that sharp fourth or flat fifth. And those two together, you can definitely do it. It's a lot of death metal tracks use that. So you can throw it in, but having that as your basis, I don't think I'd do it. You'll have to bribe me with a lot of beer. Ooh, Mr. Sean Lane, yeah. May rest in peace. Such an awesome dude. Really cool. Powers of 10, one of my all-time favorite fusion albums. So cool. Though I can't play anything of it, but you're not supposed to. It's freaking Sean Lane. Oh, there's a challenge out there to make a song in Locrian. Well, that's interesting. Is it like a YouTube challenge? Maybe that's a cool thing for the next GMC collab. I don't know if you know, but we have a lot of song collabs going on the GMC forum, and we actually we're actually just finished with one. We don't have a video to it, so I guess it's not quite as interesting to share with you guys, but I'm just going to give you the link. We've been working on this one for like months, but maybe it could be a cool idea to have a challenge where we all together try to create something in Locrian. Maybe, yeah, just for the sake of it. Six pack on my lap. Well, let's see. Unfortunately, I don't have that good experience writing songs under the influence of alcohol. So, but who knows? Maybe that's what's required to come up with some Locrian stuff. But I think it would be a metal tune for sure with Locrian. I mean, I can't imagine what else. Let's see if I can just visualize that scale. So. Let's see if we can grab something more metal. Sounds horrible. Well, there you have a bit of Locrian. I don't know if it sounds like a song, though. And then we'd have to go... Just have to think what the key is, so it's like... Yeah, it's like, think D minor, basically. D minor, and then use E as the bass notes. I don't know. We're gonna make a song out of this. What do you guys say? So if you guys know the minor scale, you could think D minor and then have E as your basis. If you're hearing E as your bass note and you're playing the D minor scale, then you get the Locrian sounds, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. I need to get my picking. Maybe using math. I'm horribly bad at math with music and math in general, I'd say, but might be a good idea. Cool, we have Noid in here. I had the weirdest theme. Whoopi Goldberg destroyed Los Angeles like Godzilla in retaliation for her suspension. Can you write a song about that? Well, there you have it. That's what the tune is about. Whoopi Goldberg. I barely know who that is, but there's a song for her, or him, whatever it is. Can do some more dissonances maybe. Could be like a break in the middle of the tune, like drum stop and just... Don't I have the wrong guitar for this stuff? But this is a testament of how cool I think these pickups are. These are the lowest output in their single coil range from bare knuckle pickups. They're called Apache, but still, when I use these two in what's it called? I think in series, then I get sort of working humbucker sound. Not really, but still, you know, I can play some metal with it. I realize it's not really up to standard, but it's still workable. You can do something with it. So yeah, but that's probably as good as it gets. Cool. So I like the direction we've taken this live stream. I don't know. We went from Johnny Highland to high gain Testament Locrian. I don't know how that happened. That's the cool thing with these streams. You never know where you're gonna land. Oh, Firestone Walker Tiki Smash IPA. Smash, sorry. Is that a beer? In my honor, man. That sounds like fun. Cool, guys. So I guess I'm gonna have to end this stream now, but it's been a really cool session, and I really hope you guys are gonna join me again. There should be a link somewhere you can find my previous session, and I also do these on Facebook, and I actually do them more often on Facebook, so you might want to check that out as well. It's on the GMC site Facebook. You should find links pretty much everywhere. The YouTube channel, and also if you go to the GMC site at the bottom of the page, you can find that. Facebook and the YouTube stuff and all that good stuff. But I'm there quite often, so you might want to check that out. But it's been a really nice session, and you guys have been really inspiring. So who knows, maybe I'm going to sit down and write a Locrian tune thanks to this session. Who knows? Cranked Marshall. Yeah, that sounds like fun. But cool, guys. So really awesome to have you here, and I hope to meet you soon again. And most importantly, stay safe now and practice super hard until next time.